All right, Errol Spence Jr. says he's knocking out Shawn Porter, and he ain't playing about it. Also, we're going to chop it up about this VADA testing and this anti-dope testing for that particular fight. And we're going to talk a little bit about this hopefully eventual Terrence Crawford fight with Errol Spence Jr. in this video. All right, let's get to it. Welterweight division. 4 champions, 1 division: Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Shawn Porter, and Keith Thurman. We've got a unification fight coming up soon between Errol Spence Jr. and Shawn Porter. Forgot, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. Also, when we do our live streams and when we do our Patreons, definitely check out the Patreon. The link is below. Now, there's a lot of babbling that keeps going on about Errol Spence Jr. And I really believe that a lot of the talk comes from more of a dislike of his fans than an actual dislike of him and what he's doing. I'm a big Errol Spence Jr. fan. I'm a big supporter of Errol Spence Jr. I've liked Errol Spence a lot since before the Chris Algieri fight. I think the guy's a special fighter, and his style is just something I really like to watch. With this Shawn Porter thing, where Errol Spence Jr. had called out Shawn Porter after Shawn Porter got the WBC belt in his fight with Danny Garcia, people had been saying that, first of all, they forgot that Errol Spence Jr. had been looking for this fight with Shawn Porter before the Errol Spence Jr. and Mikey Garcia fight was made. There was a lot of talk about what he said after the press conference or during the press conference before Shawn Porter started speaking. The things that he said about Terrence Crawford, there's a lot of talk about that, but lost in the shuffle was that Errol Spence Jr. got in the ring with Shawn Porter and said that he wanted to fight Shawn Porter that very evening. Shawn Porter had something else to do. Ugas. And that's when you got the Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence Jr. fight. So when there was this talk from Kenny Porter about whether or not the contract was going to be signed or not, I sat back and thought to myself, are people getting amnesia? It's like Shawn Porter had to have his feet held to the fire to try to win back the IBF belt that he lost to Kell Brook. I never understood why people would think that Errol Spence Jr. wasn't trying to make that fight. Shawn Porter is the one that had already ducked Errol Spence Jr., at least my eyes, similar to the way that people get amnesia about Tyson Fury and the fact that Tyson Fury turned down, walked out of negotiations for a fight that was virtually agreed for a rematch with Deontay Wilder in a fight that was also ordered by the WBC. People forgot, conveniently, when Tyson Fury walked off from those negotiations. Same type of amnesia hit people in the head when it came to Shawn Porter and Errol Spence Jr. But now that it's been agreed, at least on both sides, that both these contracts have been signed and that they're just waiting to announce a date and a venue, now we got a different issue that came up. Is Errol Spence Jr. going to be doing VADA testing? It's a WBC championship fight. Why wouldn't Errol Spence Jr. and Shawn Porter be doing the WBC Clean Boxing Program for a fight that's for a WBC belt? My understanding is that they are, and reports have come out that they definitely are, that from Errol Spence Jr., that they definitely are going to participate in VADA testing for that fight. And that they're going to have a significant amount of time where they're testing out from the fight. Since we don't know when the fight date is, they could be doing 60-day testing. They could be doing 90-day testing. We'll find out what the specifics are. But I just find it very funny, man, how people just keep coming up with reasons to doubt that Errol Spence Jr. is, for lack of a better word, an honest camper. that he really was going to fight Shawn Porter, that he really is going to be drug tested by VADA and follow the WBC rules and regulations. There had been a lot of talk about before this fight, during the lead up to the Kell Brook fight, and after the Kell Brook fight, the lead up to the Lamont Peterson fight, the lead up to the Carlos Ocampo fight, people complaining about looking at his chest a little too closely. I have no idea why people do that. But anyway, looking at his, I don't even feel like saying it. I feel like, God dog, I might get a copyright. I might get a community guidelines strike for all the things that people were saying about Errol Spence Jr.'s chest. But none of those fights were for the WBC. Those fights were the IBF. Similar to a circumstance where people were talking about VADA testing not being present for the Keith Thurman versus Manny Pacquiao fight. Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao were fighting for the WBA belt. The WBC Clean Program, Clean Boxing Program, is the one that's using VADA. Now, I don't have any reason whatsoever to doubt that VADA is the best testing. But when you have somebody fighting for the WBO, or you have somebody fighting for the WBA, or you have somebody that's fighting for the IBF, and that fighter is not also fighting for the WBC, it's not unreasonable that some other type of testing protocol can be used. But once they fight for that WBC belt, then hey man, got to do WBC Clean Boxing Program, right? If you're ranked by the WBC, you should be doing the WBC Clean Boxing Program, right? Ain't that right, Tyson Fury and Tom Schwartz? Oh no, Tyson Fury didn't do that. Tyson Fury didn't have VADA testing, even though he's ranked in the WBC when he fought Tom Schwartz. Again, all that tells you is more than likely he's going to go over there and fight for that WBO belt. Now, with all that said, I'm happy about this fight with Terrence Crawford the fight with Errol Spence Jr. and Shawn Porter being made. I favor Errol Spence Jr. However, this could be a very, very good fight, a good challenge for Errol Spence. And if Errol Spence is able to beat Shawn Porter and able to beat Shawn Porter convincingly, that, in my opinion, solidifies him without a doubt as being the top welterweight. Now, why would I say that? When you have Terrence Crawford there. Because Terrence Crawford would not have fought the type of competition that Errol Spence Jr. has fought at welterweight. If you have Kell Brook, Shawn Porter, Lamont Peterson, and even a blown up, currently, I ain't gonna make fun of Mikey Garcia, along with Leonard Bundu, along with Chris Algieri, that in my mind trumps pretty much what everybody else has done at welterweight, with the possible exception being Keith Thurman, who has Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter currently attached to his win column. If Keith Thurman is able to beat Manny Pacquiao, which I think he will, I'm actually really surprised that so many people are favoring. There goes my dog. It never stops. I'm really surprised that so many people. Ooh, had to stop Zeus again, man. Having this dog, man, he goes crazy in the videos. So yeah, I'm really surprised that there's that many people who are who favor Manny Pacquiao to beat Keith Thurman. But I could be wrong. I've been cussed out by a lot of guys from the Philippines. So, everybody in the Philippines can't be wrong. I'm really happy about this fight with Errol Spence Jr. and Shawn Porter because it brings us that much closer to getting unification in the welterweight division, getting one champion in the welterweight division, which it being a signature division, I think is real important. And then also, it's going to allow, if Errol Spence Jr. is able to do that, because I believe he said that his plan was to have the fight with Shawn Porter, unify with Shawn Porter. If he can get the winner of the Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman in the ring, then he would fight the winner of that fight. Freddie Roach also stated that if that fight was offered, if the Errol Spence Jr. fight was offered to Manny Pacquiao, then Manny Pacquiao wouldn't turn it down. Now, I don't know if that's a play on word, if he's being slick, like maybe Jinky Pacquiao might turn it down, because I know I saw Errol Spence Jr. offer him that fight and say he wanted to fight. So Manny Pacquiao was offered that fight by Errol Spence Jr. Both those guys are their own promoters, so yeah, I don't get that. But regardless, if Manny Pacquiao wins and Manny Pacquiao's a man of Freddie Roach's word, then maybe you can get that fight to pop off between Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao. If it's Errol Spence and Shawn Porter, I don't believe it. I believe that if it's Manny Pacquiao versus, if Keith Thurman beats Manny Pacquiao, I don't believe it. I don't think Keith Thurman wants any part of Errol Spence Jr. And then but if he was able to get over that hurdle, get over the first hurdle, get over the second hurdle, then then he said, hey man, I'd be willing to make that Terrence Crawford fight. Also, rumor has it, Fred from Barbershop Conversation reported that Terrence Crawford's contract with Top Rank is up in 2020. So if it's up in 2020 and Terrence Crawford signs with another promoter, because he doesn't have to sign with PBC to make that an easier fight to make. All he's got to do is sign with somebody other than Bob Arum, and that fight would have an opportunity to be made if he didn't really feel comfortable signing with the PBC or signing with Al Heyman. But anyway, we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.